Hello everyone, my name is Ben Fo. Welcome to my studio. I will show you a technique I turn my bowl, vessel, in hollow form to thin wall. And this is a bowl blank. Many people like to turn bowl faceplate, screw jack, but I like to turn my bowl between center. I mount a half bowl blank here, and I will turn it from behind and sneak up to the bowl that way. Rough turn the back. Just try to get the rough edge out of the bowl blank. Notice I tuck my tool into the body, and I will just move the body along with the shape of the bowl. So your whole body and the tool will move at the same time. Clear the bottom. Create the footing for the chuck. Make sure your solder square. I will be using the one-way stronghold chuck, so the solder has to be square. Not too big, not too small, so the number 2 jaw for one word can hold it very easily. One more pass before we flip the bowl over to work on the inside. This is the bottom of the bowl, and we not have to be perfect here because when we turn this bowl over, we need to true up the bowl when it's on the chuck. Make sure the shoulder of the chuck here matches the shoulder of your bowl. Now the rim is very unbalanced, so I can just trim up, clean up the rim. Now we're ready to true up the back of the bowl to make sure it's running true. Take line cut. Just truing up the bowl. That's all I'm doing right now. Rubbing your bevel, pull them across. This is a spindle gouge, actually, used with the sear scraping. This is spindle gouge, using, looks like a sear scraping action. The wood is wet, so it sort of come out very mushy. Well, at this point, it's very smooth now, but I will do one more step. That feels good, so I will run a couple more passes with my sear scraping and the outside blade. Barely touch the wood and just pulling it across with stiff angle. Now I work on the inside of the bowl. This is side grain bowl, so I will turn from the rim to the center of the bowl. With the bowl gouge, come into the rim perpendicular and arc down to the center of the bowl. I will stop somewhere right here and I will explain to you how I do the thin wall turning different than the normal salad bowl. And I need to explain to you why I'm doing that. Okay? Here's how cut. We keep going. If I'm turning a traditional bowl with a 1/4 inch thick or a 3/8, I can keep going all the way to the bottom and I probably finish right there. However, if the bowl is thinner than that, by the time you get to an 1/8 inch, the whole bowl will chatter and you will never can get the smooth cut. And here's how I do it. We make the cut like normal, but then I go about a third way down and I keep going to the rim. I will save all this wood here to stabilize the bowl. So I'm cutting to the rim. That's what I'm doing right now. So by the time I get to the rim, I will go over to the wall thickness I want. And that will end up like that. Okay. Now, I get from here to here the wall thickness I want. The mass is still here, the bowl running, and I will go to the next step. I will do the same thing. Okay, and by the time I get here, I will try to match this. And I keep going to the bottom. How I know my wall thickness is even? I will put the light here on this side. When we're cutting here, we'll look from the light will shine through our bowl because the bowl is very, very light color. You can see the translucent. And that's how I measure my thickness. Here's a bowl, and we start cutting from the rim to the center. If we turn the salad bowl, I will keep going and going until I got to my final thickness, whatever that will be, 1/2 inch or 3/8. But in this case, we want to go to 1/16 thickness for the wall. So we'll have to attack them a little bit differently. Okay, now this is where we're at right now. We're about third way down, and I will go right to the wall with the wall thickness and leave the mass in the center of the bowl. So now the first inches from the rim of the bowl will have the right thickness. This is my outside scraper. I'm going to change it to the inside scraper. So I'm going to use this, try to scrape this one. With this cutter, I can rotate the angle I want. So if you don't do it now, when I go deeper, you never can have a chance to do it again. The mask is still in the middle and give the bowl stability. And now I go to the next inches, doing the same thing. To ensure the wall thickness evenly, I will put the light on the outside of the bowl. So when we turn, I will look to the opposite side to see the translucent of the bowl because the wood is wet. Okay, got the crucial moment here. You can see the translucent from the first inches into the second inches. We want to match that color. So here we go. Keep going down until the colors match. Almost there. Now, again, I use a scraper to blend in the two stages. You see my finger on the outside of the bowl to support it. Now we're getting deeper, go deeper. Again, now we're on third step now. This two is even. We're gonna make this one the same color as this. Final step, go to the center, the bottom of the bowl. So at this point, if I go to the bottom, we still have a lamp shape. So we got something. Make sure the bottom concave. No flat spot in the bottom. Even though we have to make one more cut, it's okay. Feel to see any bump. If there is a bump, you want to use your pencil to mark the bump. And gently take your scraper and just take the pencil mark out. Don't overdo it. You will create another bump next to it. So just slowly removing bump that way. Reverse the bowl using a jam chuck there, and reverse the bowl and put the tailstock right back to where the mark of between center from the beginning. That will get us very close to round. Okay, now we'll turn the bottom off. I call this destroy the evidence. Blend the curve in and cut the bottom concave. This bowl is very wet right now, and when it dry, the bottom will be distorted. The whole bowl will be distorted. And that's why I like to leave the nub here, so when it dry, I can put it back the way it is and tool the bottom up, and then you can take the nub off. Let's see what we did here. There we go. Now we're going to do an open vessel. There are a couple of ways for us to cut the logs. I'm going to show you on the board. Here's the log. Bark. And rolling ring. If this log is a fit the design diameter of your vessel, and then you can turn the whole log and using the pit as the center, and the log can be, your vessel can be the whole thing. But if this log is very big and you only need a section of this log, you actually can cut the log over here and turn your vessel this way. And if this is the case, and your vessel might off a little bit when it dry, and this will be a little bit more distorted than the way it is using the whole log. And the log on the lathe right now is I'm using the whole log. A couple of important safety features here. Number one, make sure your speed all the way down, and rolling with your hand, make sure the log not touching your tool rest. Okay, and face seals down, and we start turning. You can see how important to wear the face seal. Okay, if we cut too slow, you will see some ridges across the vessel or the bowl blank right now. So to compensate that, either you speed up your lathe or cut slower. That will get rid of all the ridges lying along the cylinder. Now we need to create the tenon for the chuck. I like to go back from the bottom of the vessel and cut across with a spindle gouge. I think this way much more cleaner cut than a parting tool from the edge. To speed up the process, I can use Forstner bit and drill the hole to the depth I wanted it, so make the hollow turning a lot quicker. Eight and 3/4, right around here. Okay, now the stage is set for hollow the end grain vessel. It really is the opposite with the bowl. We will turn from the center to the rim. And so we can't really use the bowl gouge. You will see me using different tools to do this. And we're using the same technique, do 1 inch at a time, go from the center to the rim, to the final wall thickness, and leave the mass in the middle and keep going down to the bottom. And in the process, I will drill a series of holes here where I will be piercing later on. And look through the hole with the light inside, you can see the thickness of the wall. Well, I'm going to show you an array of tools to do the hollow turning open vessel, okay? And this one here is a miniature rolling and roll tool. And this is his big brother. The shaft a little bit bigger than this one and can go deeper. And this is a huge mackay with the articular arm, so it can sit on a table. And this is Lau Jameson D-bar, and you need double rest, one here and one back here, so it can be stabilized. Very similar design, but a little bit bigger. It's a, believe it or not, this is a Frank Sudol miniature bar. Frank turned much bigger stuff, so he needed to have all this mess with him. Last but not least is a very original design here from Dennis Stewart, and with the arm race, and I believe John Jordan now makes a very similar tool to this. Okay, during the process, you might see me using a change tool just for demonstration purposes only. You don't have to have all these tools to make this vessel, but any of these tools can do it. So you can cut backward like that, and then you cut out. I mean, this tool is really good. actually just a normal spindle gouge. I just grind it way back about 3/4 inch, and this is a profile, like a fingernail profile. And I just using the bevel here and doing a little bit of shear scraping. You're rubbing your bevel, and there we go. That will give you a very clean cut. As we go deeper, and this tool might not be useful anymore because it can't reach it that far, but at the beginning, that's a very good tool to use. Okay. When the wall thickness is not even, you can see the two different colors on your wall. And as you can see there, I have to go in and shear scraping the inner end of it so the wall thickness can appear same color. Shear scraping. Try to make the wall even. There we go. Now you can see they're all in the same translucent color. So I know the wall thickness there is all even keel. This is Rolling Monroe standard size tool. I use them to remove stock fast. This is John Jordan arm brace style tool with the shear scraping head on it, so I can just scrape it with the 45 degree. This is Lau Jameson D-bar with the backrest homemade out of oak. I also using a shear scraping blade, try to blend in the wall thickness. And this is Hughes McKay hollowing tool. It's sit on a table with the out trigger. I will explain this tool in detail later on this DVD. Changing the angle of the cutter head. I'm removing the mask aggressively with the 3/16 square cutter. When the mask removed, I start to move to the wall of the vessel with a 90 degree cut. Change my cutter. Go to the final wall thickness. Almost at the bottom of the vessel. Now I find the area I need to design for piercing, and will drill a few holes with about 1/8 of an inch in diameter. And I'm using the hole to gauge the wall thickness while I'm going down on the side of the vessel. Drilling the hole. you know, this area after I pierce, all this hole will disappear. So right now I'm not concerning about it too much. So you can see the first hole there, the wall thickness is a little thicker than 1/16, so we start to scraping a little bit more to get to the wall thickness. The second hole, thick, third hole and fourth hole, not even see any light. All right, now you can see all four holes appear to have the same thickness. You know, the area I will be pierced when I finish the vessel, so all those holes will disappear. I will measure the inside depth of the vessel, so I know how to shape the outside. Using a spindle gouge, shaping the outside. Okay, now I switch to a bowl gouge, and using the side of the bowl gouge, and try to smooth the curve out. Now I'm using my outside sear scraper. I go back to the inside and finish the inside of the vessel. It looks like we finished the inside. Take this one off, and we'll have to do the reverse checking here. Okay, and I use this for the jam chuck. It's long enough for the vessel and have some padding here. And you should have many of these, different size for the different vessel. And put this one on. Okay. This is a jam chuck. Okay. Again, I'm using a spindle gouge, try to blend the bottom of the vessel in. Using the skew to make a concave of the foot. Okay, we finished our vessel. Remove it from the jam chuck. I will leave the nut here until the vessel dry, and I can put back to the lake the way it is and tool up the bottom. Okay. The vessel right now is wet, so I want to put it in a paper bag. So the drying process is lower. And the next morning I will take another bag and switch the vessel over here and about 2-3 days, the vessel should be dry enough to leave it outside, and for about 2 weeks, and it should be completely dry, and we start working on it. Okay, this is the starting point for me to do the wing vessel. I have to turn a perfect cylinder with a tenon for the chuck, and I will have to cut the vessel up as a wing and then as a vessel. I'm going to go to the board and show you how to do that. Top view is the opening of the vase, and I will cut this wing right here, this to keep, and this part here will go away, and this part here will go away. Okay, make sure you give at least half an inch between the clearance here, about half inch, and then if I draw this side view, I will mount it to the platform, and I use a hot melt glue for holding it in place. And this is the cut. This is the cut, so this part here will go away. Here's our cylinder for the wing vessel. Now I'm situated them squarely with this carriage, okay? And to be more safety and secure, I can put some more hot melt glue back here. Make sure it just stay, won't go nowhere. Some on this side. Already sitting here, so now actually I can save it for a ball blank. Okay, now I will cut on this side, and we finish this wing vessel. Okay, this is how we start our blank, like that. Okay, we put this back in the lathe, and we turn with this thing flipping around like a fan. Okay. Okay, so now the vessel back on the lathe, and when I turn it on, you can see like we have an invisible neck here. So the two rests have to be out here, and the two have to go in, straight in, you have this much movement between your two. The wing will tell you when you touch them. So, okay. But first thing first. So now I'm gonna drill the hole to get my entrance. I won't drill too far. Okay. We are our tool setup. This happens to be a human cave, and here our entrance hole. Okay, and I only can go from this end. You can hear that, or if I go on this end. See, the wing will tell you your limitation. So your tool rest has to be out here. Okay, now I get my tool set up, and the wing vessel blanks on the lathe with the hole drill. Here's my solder, and everything I turn will be basing on this. And I will go with the tool and come in and turn from this end. Okay, make sure your tool line up. Turn it on, and let's see where our limitation is. From here, hear that, to here. Okay? Yeah. Rough shape the outside of the vessel first, so you know where to stop. To roughly have an idea where the outside vessel shape will be. Shear scraping it, reasonable smooth surface. Same thing with the open vessel. I will drill an 8-inch hole where the area will be pierced. And the hole will give me the depth and the more thickness as I'm going deeper. Okay, we're going inside the vessel with the cutter 90 degrees. Try to clear up so I can get to the solder of the vessel. Try to get cavity here so the tool can go in easier around the solder. The Human K tool will give me an advantage of changing the angle of the cutter inside the vessel. And that is a very big advantage, so I can get that solder square, and I will disassemble this tool so you kind of see how the tool works. This is how the cutter head works. In order for me to cut across 90 degree on the solder, my cutter had to be 90 degrees. And I can change its angle inside the tool, inside the vessel. While the tool is inside the vessel, I can change the angle, and when I want to get it out, I can loosen it up. Here's how the tool works. It's a pivot bolt on the cutter head. I will take that out to show you the inside. There's 3 dimples on 3 different positions. And it was secured by a rod inside of this tool. The tool made out of 3/4 inch gun stock, so inside is hollow. And the rod controlled by a spring and a ball. When the knob pushes up, on the other end, there's another round ball that'll tighten up the cutter head. And with the pivot hole in there, a dimple in there, we're moving the tool cutter around. I'm going to put the tool back together. Do not over tighten this pivot bolt. And the cutter head can move freely. Now I install the spring, the ball, and a threaded knob to hold the tool in place. I loosen it, I can move the cutter head, I tighten it, and it will rigid. Retaining bar to secure the tool in place. To take that out, it's just losing the threaded knob. Put it back in. Sometimes you have to go with an angle, and then the tool is in place. This hole here is perfect, but this is a little thicker and this is a lot thicker. So I need to scrape probably from right here on down to here, okay? Okay, check this thickness again. Now you see this one and this one just right around 16 inches because equal to this one there. All right, so now I've got from here on down here more than halfway the wall thickness here one. From here on down, I can start shaping a little bit further and hollow the rest of the vessel, okay? Little new burrs on my outside sear scraper. Use them sear scraping the outside to get it reasonable smooth. Okay. This is not a final shape. The bottom still had to tuck in, but now give you a visual of the vessel look like. I can go inside and finish the bottom to match the outside. I'm marking the inside from the outside of the vessel. I can feel how heavy it is. I leave the tenon there so I can hold it on the jack again and do some design and cutting on the panel. This lathe is my cover lathe. It's my holding device. Clean up the bandsaw mark with a small carving gouge, especially in the corner. Lay out a design. I know where to cut off. It's about 3/8 inch thick on this panel. That's where I want to leave. That's where I want to cut. I want to drill the hole in the corner so my miniature saber saw can go in and out easy. Here my miniature saber saw. I can cut 3/8 inch stock easy with this saw. Slowly but surely. We cut up with the angle on my Japanese saw. Now you can see from the back to the front, the area I want to pierce, but it's too thick. So I need to make this section thinner by rounding the top and the bottom. An etching on the top and etching on the bottom, so give me an etching in the middle so I can start piercing the image on it. Set up the router, the vessel secure so it will not move. Remove some stock from the front. Now the thickness is right for piercing. I need to drill more pilot holes so I can cut the rest of this panel out. The saber saw can't reach to the shoulder of the vessel, so I had to use a Japanese saw to cut it off. Now the rough cut is finished. I need to do a lot of sanding here to finish this panel. Other than that, we'll finish the shape.
Sài Gòn ơi, xin dã từ em. Thành phố yêu ơi, xa cách muôn đời, biết tìm đâu và còn tìm đâu sóng biển nào đưa ta vào cơn mơ tình ai. Một thoáng mưa bay sau dâng tê tái, nép nhau chờ đến bây giờ, chờ tình cơn mơ mới hay rằng ta vĩnh biệt em. Cuộc tình thì theo cơn lốc bay, cuộc đời thì giờ đôi tay trắng. Biết bao giờ và đến bao giờ trở lại quê hương, hay muôn đời ta vĩnh biệt em. Sài Gòn ơi, xin dã từ em. Thành phố yêu ơi, xa cách muôn đời, biết tìm đâu và còn tìm đâu sóng biển nào đưa ta vào cơn mơ tình ai. Một thoáng mưa bay sau dâng tê tái, nép nhau chờ đến bây giờ, chờ tĩnh cơn mơ mới hay rằng ta vĩnh biệt em. Dòng nước và đến bao giờ trở lại quê